It is the most #1 complicated user interface I've used on any car, ever. This here is the brand new Audi A8. Never mind that the birds did a complete number on the car. I gotta say, it don't look like anything. It literally could be any car on the road. If you remove the Audi badging, you can't tell this car from anything. It just looks like every other car on the road, but it doesn't drive like every other car. It's distinctly Audi drive. What a great way to drive around Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills in an Audi A8. Brand new car, literally brand new. This is class. I gotta say, I've driven a lot of luxury cars, and compared to a lot of other luxury cars, honestly, this is not as good. But if you aren't doing that comparison, this is amazing. It's a fantastic vehicle. It drives uniquely Audi. It doesn't drive like a BMW. It doesn't drive like a Mercedes or a Lincoln or Rolls-Royce or a Bentley. It drives distinctly Audi. What does that even mean? Alright, so when I turn the wheel now going super slow, this is Lincoln Town Car. As soon as I pick up some speed, it gets tighter and tighter and tighter. And by the time I'm only doing about maybe 40, it's like no power steering at all, which is cool. But I've never driven variable power assist that is so distinctively different. Plenty of cars have variable power assist, but you don't really feel the transitions. This one you do. It's like so extremely different going slow than going fast. Now there's a bunch of things I really dislike about this car, but some of the cool things before I get to that, everything is very quiet. Like if I close the windows now, I'm in a bank vault. Literally you hear nothing, and you don't hear the windows go up and down. Most cars you can actually hear the power windows go up and down a little bit. This is dead silent. You can hear this annoying Porsche 911 with the obnoxious exhaust in front of me over my own car. Now let me just go around this 911 because he's going too slow. It's Rodeo Drive, man. You see the guy? Noisy car. That's not the Audi. All right. So what else is interesting about this car? Power door locks. In every car, you hear the power door locks. Sounds like a no-brainer, right? So they got smart in Audi and they said, let's make the power door locks be dead silent. Listen to this. That button press is all you hear, but it is locking and unlocking the door. This seems like a good idea in theory, except one small problem. Every time you got a passenger on the other side of the car waiting for you to unlock, they can't hear it when you unlock. So you take it for granted that you're supposed to hear it when the doors unlock, but now you have to tell the driver, go, try the door, you know. They don't hear it when it locks or unlocks. So that's actually like one step forward, two steps back. They thought, let's get smart. We'll make a dead silent power door lock. And there's also no indicator other than a tiny red LED, which is down here, but you can't probably see that in the camera, but it's recessed below the door handle. So even from the driver's seat, I can't see the red light unless I lean forward. No one can see that red light. So you have absolutely no idea when this car is locked or unlocked. None. Now, if you're the driver and you got the key in your pocket, it doesn't matter because it's keyless entry and you just pull the door, and to lock it, you just touch the door, a certain spot in the door handle that has a square cutout or something. But for all the passengers, it's really bloody annoying. All right, what else about this car is annoying? It is the most #1 complicated user interface I've used on any car ever. And mind you, I've driven most high-end BMWs, including the i7, which is fully electric, and the 760, and I've owned the 760 Li. I've driven every luxury sedan, not everyone, almost every luxury sedan made, and this is the #1 most complicated user interface. And it's not complicated because it's so feature-rich. It's just badly made. All right, some of the other things that bug me out about this car, the steering wheel heater works only when it feels like. I'm serious. Sometimes it works in certain segments of the wheel and not other parts, and sometimes the whole thing just stops working, and sometimes it works perfectly fine, the whole steering wheel heats up. I don't know why. That's a bug, obviously. But it has a lot of bugs. I haven't been driving this car more than a few days, and I've already had like a suspension fault that went away by itself when I shut the car off and turned it on. But like it was stuck on the lowest setting. It's got air suspension that lifts up and down, which is cool if it works. But this is a brand new car, literally brand new. It's got like 4,000 miles on it or something like that. All right, so it shouldn't do that. Now it does have some cool things. It has massage seats in the front. It has heated armrest both right and left side, which is really nice because in like Beverly Hills where I'm at right now, at night it gets to be about, I don't know, 60 degrees, which in Celsius is about 15 or something. So it's not super cold, but it's nice to have something to warm you up. And this car does a great job at that. Actually, nighttime is the best time for this car because it's honestly not that amazing to look at in the day, but at night everything lights up like the movie Tron. It's really beautiful at night. In the day, honestly, this car is kind of blends in with, there's next to me on that side, there's a Chevy Malibu, a cheap junker clunker car from the 90s. It doesn't look that different, really. A six-figure dollar car shouldn't look that close to a Chevy Malibu, but it does. It really don't look like much. Driving dynamics, that's where it really shines. Now, last night I was up in Hollywood Hills, and I was having a really good time around the mountain range. I gotta say, like, this thing is great on the twisties. I shifted into manual, which I don't think you could see down here, but the shifter is another complicated thing. There's about 16 different ways to adjust it. If you're gonna give this car to your grandma, she ain't gonna figure out how to put it in drive. It's just like that bad. Or put it in park. She'll be stuck. She'll be calling you, I can't get my foot off the brake because I can't figure out how to put it in park. I'm stuck in this parking spot and I can't do nothing. So it's a really complicated shifter. BMW's shifters are kind of similar, but this is even more complicated, as crazy as that is. Mercedes has some vehicles that have it also. They all do, all electronic ones are, but this one's worse, that's all. Now, when you are in manual mode, which I was in the mountains there, it is really quite good. The responsiveness of the shifting, whether you're using the paddles up here, oops, windshield wipers. If you're ready to use the paddles or the shifter, is really, really, really responsive. It's pretty good when you hit the thing. I can do it in here. Wait, here, let's drop a gear. Oh, that's the wrong paddle. It's the wrong way. I hit it, put it into 5th gear at 20 miles an hour. There. Not a super loud car, but it's nice. It's mellow. Good sound, right? This engine sounds bigger than it is. It's like 335 horsepower or something, which if you're going back to like 20 years ago was amazing, but today that's kind of average for a big car like this. But it sounds good, you know, makes a lot of noise. No, it doesn't. It doesn't make a lot of noise. Makes a good noise, nothing amazing. You know, it's a normal car, but normal luxury car. It sounds good. It sounds like a V6, honestly. It doesn't sound like a V8. I like the old V8s. I like the big V12s. This car doesn't have that. This is a V6, but it's quick. On the highway, which is not where I'm at right now. Oh, I almost forgot to shift, but it didn't get to the red line. On the highway, this thing is really a pleasure. It's very smooth. It's not going to win any land speed records, but it is very quick. It's somewhere, I don't know. So I have no idea what it is 0 to 60. It's probably around 4 seconds, 5 seconds, somewhere in that vicinity. Yeah, I know it's pretty vague. It's fun though. It's a fun to drive. I gotta get out of manual though. This is okay. Now, how do you get out of manual? Well, if you don't do nothing and you use the paddles, then it just shifts. It puts you back in randomly. Like sometimes it's 2 seconds after you put it in use the paddles for manual, and sometimes it's like a minute later. I don't honestly know why it shifts you from manual back to like regular from the paddles, but if you shift with the gear shifter to the right, then it goes in manual mode and stays in manual mode. It's really complicated, honestly. Oh, check it out, Beverly Hills Hotel is coming up. So this car is totally crazy. This is like, there's so much to know just to use the basic stuff. Like, you got cameras all around the car, but when you push them on, they only work when you're standing still. As soon as you drive about 3-4 miles an hour, the whole cameras go off, like to see where, you know, the surrounding cameras and stuff like that. There's a lot of things I just don't like about this car, and yet I love driving it. Kind of a contrast, isn't it? So anyway, air conditioning vents, they open and close. Like when you don't use them, they hide themselves in the dashboard. It's totally a gimmick. Why do you need to close it up? I don't know. It looks nice. I definitely know that I've seen that in, was it a Bentley or Rolls Royce? One of them does that, and it was pretty cool, but it's like now it's, you know, 5 years later or something. It's just a duplicate of it. And the wood has a very distinct cutout where it opens up. So it's not like it's hidden. It's not like the Tesla where you actually can't tell where the vents are unless you really try hard. You can totally see where it opens up. So that's like, I don't know, it's gimmicky. Other things, sunroof is amazing. It's a big sunroof. It opens this way like a normal car, but there's also a rear sunroof. That one does not open, but it does have a sunshade that's power. The front one also has a power sunshade. It is really like a sauna in here when you have the sunroof open in LA, in Los Angeles, where I'm at, in Beverly Hills here, Hollywood Hills. But you know, you could close the sunshade. Now the sunshade is fabric. What's the problem with that? The sun, you could still see through the sunshade. Not like a traditional mechanical one where you just go whoop, slide it, and then you're completely in the dark. Here the sun, you can kind of see it through it. Not so bad, but you need the AC too. AC is noisy when you put it on, which is why I'm sweating away now, because if I put it on, you won't hear me on the camera. But you know, it is what it is. Ride quality, handling is all right. It handles like a big sedan. It's all-wheel drive, I assume. I don't know, but pretty much all Audis are today. So you know, you got the good handling, but it's not amazing. Like, I've driven BMWs on the track, and I could say that it would kind of wipe the floor with the handling on this. Like, this is not nearly as good, but it's smooth. Again, it's not smooth like a Mercedes S-Class though, so it's kind of like in the middle. It's distinctly Audi. Wow, where is this beautiful? Where am I? I was just driving around Beverly Hills, ended up in Hollywood Hills. Look at this. Wow, this is cool. This is a class. If you got a house up here in Hollywood Hills, you need the Audi A8 to go with the house, because this is fun. All right. Everything here is touch buttons on this thing. You touch for the vents to control the vent openings on the dashboard. Touch buttons on the two different screens, but you don't touch them like this. You have to actually put pressure, and it gives you a tactile vibration feedback. The tactile feedback is great, but the pressure that you need seems more than you probably are used to doing. So on one hand, that's kind of cool, because like you don't accidentally touch things. Like, oh my god, the BMW had touch buttons on the steering wheel. The BMW i8 drove me crazy. I'd do this and I'd be pushing things. This car doesn't do that, because you do have to put pressure. But on the same note, there's a lot of times I don't put enough pressure and the buttons aren't registering. Plus, there's two screens, which is, I don't think you can see on the camera, but the lower one is very not an ergonomic place for the driver, and that's where the keyboard is to type anything like an address into your GPS. And I really do struggle with getting the addresses, and I push the wrong buttons all the time on that. Let's get a little bit going here. I hate the ergonomics of the car in terms of user features, not sitting ergonomics. Sitting ergonomics is great, actually. Very, very comfortable, with one exception. This is too high. You can't put your arm on the armrest without having like your arm fall asleep, because it's just too high up. Other than that, the ergonomics of the car is actually very good. Steering wheel comes in and out. It has a lot of range of motion, so you can pretty much fit anybody of any size in this car. I'm pretty big. All of the seat is adjustable. The bolsters, the leg bolsters, everything. It's all adjustable. Headrest is power, which is a stupid feature, you know, but a lot of cool cars have it. I'd rather be in that M4. Not M4, that's an i4. I'd rather be in that BMW i4, frankly. But I do like this Audi A8, and it is fun. Now, the back seat has a really cool controller in the armrest, which I can't show you while I'm driving, but it only controls air conditioning. It doesn't have any seat control. There's no adjustable rear seat, nothing. I think it might have been an option, but this car's not equipped with it. So the back seat is just a plain back seat that happens to look very pretty. The actual design of the car, this wood, which might be fake wood, I don't know, is very pretty with the black, piano black trim. Fake suede over here is definitely fake. So Alcantara, wow, there's a Bugatti right here. That's a nice car. You can't see that on the camera. So the Alcantara, lots of cars have it. This particular Alcantara they're using in this car isn't really very nice. It looks very aesthetically pretty, but it feels like fabric. It doesn't feel suede-like. Whereas other cars, it feels like fake suede, or feels real suede. This doesn't have that feel, but it looks very pretty with the contrast colors. I love that they're using fake wood, fake suede, as opposed to just the stupid plastic that they use on a lot of the new luxury cars, because they gave up. They think that the wood looks old. I don't. I think suede and wood look beautiful. So I'm happy to use that. But this is plastic. The handrest here is plastic with no trim, no chrome, no nothing. It's just plastic. It's like out of a Kia or something, or a Hyundai. I don't know. It is what it is. Anyway, to Cybertruck. You know, that's what it is when you're in Hollywood. You know, you see all these cool cars, Bugattis and Cybertrucks and all this stuff here. I am enjoying some serious twisties in the Hollywood Hills here. I got the car full manual. You see, it's retarding the hill drop because I'm in one, and you need one. Normally you'd put it in two here, but this is so steep. You need the engine retention, the engine braking from this. Look how crazy this is. People live like this. This is a crazy way to live. Now, you know, the variable power assist on the car, I could do it I could use it a little tighter. This is not as tight as I'd like it to be, because I'm going slow because of the turns, but now I'm getting super loose steering because of that. No precision at all. And look at that. All right, I'm gonna go this way. Whoa. So we can get a little bit of an uphill. Get it into second. Oh, my ears just popped. Oh my gosh. The altitude change is so crazy. Drop it back down to 1. And let's see where we are. I feel, oh, that's a cul-de-sac. All right, gotta go make a U-ey. This car is pretty fun in the turns. It's not amazing. It's definitely not the best in the turns, in the twisties that I've driven, but it is super fun, you know, like get your hands on one, drive around Hollywood Hills, and it's really like, listen to that engine note. It's not super loud though. I want to put it into second, but I have to keep slowing it down because of the crazy street. I'm going to be in first for most of this descent. This is crazy. The Hollywood Hills, man. This is a whole new experience of driving Hollywood Hills. Oh, my ears popped again. Woo! I'm never gonna get into second, I think, this whole trip. It's gonna literally ride first. Now, if you drive manual, and I know how to drive manual, I gotta say that's abusive to the car. But it's better that than riding the brakes, right? Oh, look at this twisty. I mean, I'm flying here at a whole 20 miles an hour, which is below the speed limit, actually, because you can't really go faster than that on this. Anyway, so it is really fun on twisties. It's just not as fun as like this Aston Martin right here. I mean, I'd rather be in that. I'd rather be in the Aston Martin, but it is a very fun car. It has some kind of sort of exhaust note where it like, oh, I keep hitting these stupid buttons. It has some sort of exhaust note where it has like a dumping sound, like it's dumping air or something at the end of each upshift. I don't know what that is, but it's pretty cool sounding. Can't really hear that on the camera, it's too quiet. But it's pretty cool, but I'd rather be in the Aston Martin. All right, let's go take a look at the interior of the Audi A8 over here. Oh, okay, first thing when I get in, this sill is very high, and I almost tripped on that. But of course, I'm obviously looking at the camera, not how a normal person gets in the car. But the sill is definitely higher than a typical car. Armrest here is beautiful. When the car is on, which it's not now, this lights up with air conditioning controls here, but that's all it does. The rear seats are not adjustable in this model, but they have ones that do have adjustable rear seats, but this A8 doesn't have it. It just has this, which has some USBs and the USB-C plugs in the back, and a controller and a controller storage bin, and that's all it has. This goes up. Some interesting thing on this car that I like, when you put this back, you can't pull it back forward. It locks in place. You have to put your hand in, and there's something to press on the inside here, and only then does it move forward. Why is that good? Because I drive pretty fast, and if I hit the brakes hard enough, sometimes in cars this goes like that while I'm driving, which drives me crazy. So this car locks in. That's a pretty cool feature. That's the headrest for the middle passenger. It's kind of small. There's a pass-through to the trunk here. It don't open. I'm guessing there's a way to unlock it, but I don't know how. Oh, it just opened. Never mind, you have to push it in, not pull it towards you. All right. User error. That's comical. You saw that on video. All right, so this center armrest is big, very nice, and locks in the up position, which is great. The back seat is not really the sitting position that I like. It's a little too vertical. I'd like something a little more reclined, but whatever, I ain't getting in the back. Anyway, leg room is huge, absolutely enormous. I'm 6 feet tall, big dude, plenty of room. I can't, and that's my sitting position up here. Like, I didn't move the front seat. That's how I drive the car. So huge. I mean, you could literally fit 3 people sitting on each other's laps. 1, then 2, then 3, probably. Back here is some power outlets. This seems like a little bit of a wasted space, honestly. You could probably put more stuff in there than they do. Cup holders here. That's kind of neat. And that's kind of it for the back. I mean, you got vents here, and you got more vents on the pillars, which is nice. And a sunroof in the back, controls for that over here. It's got separate rear lighting, which is neat. When you hit this, all of these light up over here as well. It works from one. Up here is just mirrors. Like, lame. That's kind of lame. Honestly, they could have done better than that. There's no TV or screen back here. I personally don't watch TV in the car, so I don't get the need. I don't have the need for that, but I get why. You know, little hooks here for clothing, but the problem is it's too close to the driver's head. So if you hung something here, it'd be banging on the seat as you drive. But there is the normal hooks over here. This strip over here is lighting, which is beautiful at night. And that's about it for the back seat. Let's go to the front. Oh, soft closed doors all around. They're very slow soft closed doors. It easily takes about 4 seconds for the door to close. Take a look at this. You see I'm not exaggerating. The slowest soft closed doors I've ever seen. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it takes a full 4 seconds for the soft closed doors to work. I've used soft closed doors on plenty of cars. This is by far the slowest. This is like first world problems, you know. Oh my god, my soft closed doors take 4 seconds to close, but it is slow. Moving around up here, this center console is very hard to operate. I'll show you why. You put stuff in the center console, now you want to get it out. You get half and another half. You have to do 2 halves. You can't do them at once because this button here, you have to depress that to make it open or close. If you don't depress that, it stays. So you can't easily get both of them open unless you do that, and it's just awkward. It's just poorly designed from an ergonomic perspective. Now, in all fairness, there is heaters in these. They warm up under your, when you put the steering wheel heater on, these warm up too for the armrest. So I get they're electronic and stuff, but they also move forward here, but it's awkward because they lock in position. You have to do this to unlock. It's just very awkward. You go to like I'm trying to pull out like my something from here, and then I put it back in and it doesn't go into position because it does this. It's just very awkward. It's not broken or bad, it's just not designed for ergonomics. These are cup holders with a cigarette lighter in there. Oop, you don't call it a cigarette lighter, it's a power outlet. The electronic parking brake is nice. Glove compartment is as boring plastic, mechanical, like straight out of an Audi from the 1980s. I don't understand that. Like, they could have done more with that. I mean, I know it's all gimmicks with the electronic stuff, but it's just a regular plastic handle with a mechanical lock to lock out the glove compartment. Like, I got a 2005 Jaguar Super V8, and that has an electronic button with electronic lockout for the valet. That, I mean, like, they could do more with a glove box in this era. In 2024 is the age of this car. I mean, they could do more with that. The actual trim of the car, very beautiful. The horn, normal horn, you just press the middle, which is great. Not those little buttons like back in the old days. These buttons on the steering wheel, I hit them by accident all the time. They're rotated knobs and stuff, they control stuff. I hit that all the time. Other than that, the interior is very beautiful. The leather has this texture in it, very nice. Someone managed to stain this seat already. That didn't take very long, and it's very hard to get it off because of the perforations on the seat. So once something's stained, it's pretty hard to fix it. The rear view mirror is frameless, borderless, which is really nice. All the mirrors auto dim. Man, in LA, people put the freaking high beams on the whole time, so that's really nice to have the auto dim on all the mirrors. They're electrochromatic if you're into physics and the proper terminology. This looks cheap as anything. The rear view mirrors, the vanity mirrors, this is so plasticky. This is cheap looking. I like that when you turn this, the light goes on up here, but it's total plastic. I mean, this is just cheap. And it even feels plastic. The headliner feels plastic. It's not suede. It's like a fabric. It just feels cheap. This is hard plastic. Not good materials, honestly. Now, there is a cool feature of the car that it has auto-dimming headlights when you leave them, auto-dimming high beams. When you drive with the high beams on, if an oncoming car it comes at you, it'll automatically dim it down, so you don't blind the oncoming drivers. Very cool feature. I had a 2006 BMW V12 760Li had that. It's 18 years older than this car had it then. So it's not groundbreaking, but it's a great feature because you could drive with when you're in like Hollywood Hills here, you just leave your high beams on the whole time and it won't blind people, because as the oncoming cars come, the car automatically drops them to the low beams and then turns them back on for you. So it's a really nice feature, but not at all groundbreaking. It's an 18-year-old feature, at least in BMWs. This car doesn't have something a BMW and Mercedes both have, which I really would like. In a BMW, you have something called an Auto H or Auto P, depending on the year of the car. What it means is you put your foot on the brake to come to a full stop, and then you can lift your foot off the brake and the car won't move until you push the gas pedal. And you could disable that if you don't want it, but I like it. What it means is when you're sitting at a red light, you can take your foot off the brake and relax your foot, and then when you hit the gas, the car starts going. Mercedes has a similar thing, but it's a manual intervention. It's not every time you stop. You mash your foot to the floor of the brake pedal while you're at a standstill, and then you can lift your foot off the brake, and the same thing, and it only will go when you push the gas. Audi doesn't seem to have that, or if it is in here, I can't figure out how to turn it on because this car is complicated. Beyond that, I hate the user interface. A lot of things I don't like about it. It's excessively complicated. I don't want to show it to you because it's boring, honestly. It's the same things. You just to get to like air conditioning control, seat massage, which is great, that has it, but it's 5 clicks, 6 clicks to get the massage. I mean, there is a hotkey button down in the passengers on the seat here for them to jump to the massage, but it only controls the drivers. It's a separate user interface than when you go through here where you get driver and passenger. So if you have a passenger with you, you know, you're on a date with a nice lady friend, you want to turn the massage on, you can't use that button because it'll only turn your seat on. You got to go through the 6 steps of the menu. It's like stupid design, really. That button should just issue the same menu on the screen, but whatever, that's the way it is. Auto headlights. This is the auto dimming thingy for the high beams. It's cool. It's a great car. It's got a lot of great features, but honestly, I think the alternatives are better. But if you're not comparing to the alternatives, it's a really great car. It's a fun car to drive. It's very beautiful, and I can't show you at night because the GoPro don't pick it up, but at night this car lights up like Tron. It's amazing in here at night. That's the best. The daytime doesn't nearly do it justice because it's a very nice interior, but it's not more than that. It's just a very nice interior. It's not like groundbreaking. It does not look like a Bentley or a Rolls Royce. It looks like an Audi. And an Audi ain't that amazing to look at, but they're fun to drive, and it's distinctly Audi. Let's take a look at the trunk before we get going. Trunk is normal for a full-size sedan. If you're used to seeing skateboards, this is not a good size comparison because this is 6 inches shorter than a standard skateboard. So don't use that for reference. But it is a pretty big trunk, but it's nothing amazing. It's like a normal large-size car trunk. Let's check the hood out. All right, we got here a big piece of plastic so you can't see the engine, but it is a V6 turbo fuel something injection. Cool looking engine, but you can't see very much. It's just a bunch of plastic. You got big structural braces for rigidity. That's cool. Everything looks brand new, which it should. It's a brand new car. Not much to see here, honestly. It's just a fairly large V6. Oh well, that's it. Alright, that's all. Signing off from the extremely steep Hollywood Hills with the Audi A8. Come and get yourself an Audi A8, or don't, or go buy yourself a BMW i7 because they are more fun, or a 760. I can just think of a lot of cars I'd rather have for the same price point. But if you have an Audi A8, it is a great car. It's just not as good for the money, I guess. Anyway, go out and get yourself an A8, or don't. Alright, see you all in the next video.
Yo, 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 yo.